It's a fascinating question because it's true that we have, at least since not as soon as Obama took office, but once he started to pass his policies, we have in the past 3.5 years created 5 million private sector jobs. So that is true. And it's also true that at the same time, especially at the state and local level, government workers have been losing their jobs. When states and local governments have financial difficulties, they can't do what the federal government does, which is just borrow money from China and run up a huge deficit. They have to balance their budget, which means either one of two things. Either they have to raise taxes, which is very unpopular and not good in a recession, or they can lay off workers, and that's what they have by and large done. The statistics that I've seen is that if Obama had the same level of public employment that existed 10 years ago, overall unemployment would be below 6%, it would be around 6%. Okay, that there would be a few million more jobs if we had the same level of public employment. And so from that perspective, Obama almost looks like a conservative because there are more private sector jobs and fewer public sector jobs, which is what a conservative candidate would really push for. But as far as unemployment, when Obama took office, it was about 7.8. It immediately spiked as the recession grew even more deeply, well over 8%. And then it's been slowly, very, very slowly ticking downward since then until it's more or less returned to where it started at the beginning of Obama's administration. And so the question is, well, what could Obama have done to make it go down more quickly? He made a huge tactical error when arguing for the stimulus. He said, if we pass the stimulus, unemployment will go below 8% and will stay below 8%. And that didn't happen. And there are a couple reasons for why that's the case. One, the stimulus wasn't effective. Or two, our economy was just way worse than anyone really realized it was going to be. Either way, it didn't look good for him, and he's been playing catch up ever since then to try to get unemployment down. I think the 8% is a huge psychological barrier. If it's down below 8%, that makes people feel like we're going in the right direction. But it may be too high for Obama to get reelected. I don't think any president has gotten reelected with unemployment at that high of a number. Romney wants to really make the discussion about the recovery. And he points out, rightly so, that this is the slowest recovery from a recession that we've had since the Great Depression. Again, it depends on who you ask, but you could make, the argument that it's been a worse recession since the Great Depression, so we shouldn't expect as quick a rebound as we have in the past. And the ability of either Romney or Obama to change policy and radically increase the amount of jobs that exist, I think is very, very low. Neither of them are really going to be able to do that because the problems are much more systemic than tax policy or, as Obama is saying, trying to encourage people to go back to community colleges, get training. All that's well and good, but we can't just magically make manufacturing jobs reappear. We can't, magically, wave a magic wand and hire back all these teachers and firefighters and all that without the federal government stepping in, borrowing more money, and giving it to the state and local governments to hire back all of those public workers. So short of that, I think it's going to be a slow decline that neither candidate can really do that much about, despite what they're both saying.